It's the Cable
I feel like I might be grizzle branded out for the time being. Let's grab this Caracas. You loved 8-4s back in the day? Yeah, those were fun. It was weird. There were spots. Every once in a while, I would find spots where I thought the 4-3-2-2s were better value. Just because I ended up with it. Like, everybody would be like, 8-4s are always best value. Always, always. And it's like, well, what if you fucking lose every round? What are you talking about? What are you talking about? They're better value. And then, like, all the best players were in the 8-4s. So if you were, like, a strong player and played the 4-3-2-2s, you were just going to have, like, a much higher win rate. I don't think people realize that, like, the EV changes based on, like, differences in win rate. I think I had that conversation with Garrett Jax. Garrett Jax also did a lot of moto grinding and was on the 4-3-2-2 train a lot of the time. When you're really crushing a format, though, when you really nailed it, the 8-4s felt so good. How'd the deck I made for myself yesterday do? It went 2-1, lost the finals. Some sloppy play on my part. I'm just gonna grab Copter here, I think. Stay a little open. Nothing here is like a must grab. I'll take a Palace Jailer. Probably the best card in the pack, but not by as much as it used to be. What I miss is the gold leagues, the gold 1v1 during Cobblade. Just fucking jam Cobblade mirrors over and over for higher stakes. They were like $10 entries instead of the regular like $2 entry for the 1v1. Drafts costs $25. I haven't drafted it in paper in a while. I'm not drafted in person in a minute. You're trying to play the Final Fantasy set with your son? Oh, Final Fantasy set was like even more expensive than usual, right? Isn't there like a product shortage and everyone's sad about it? How far behind Rumble is Nantuku for best green card? Nantuku? I have Nantuku behind like Bill, and Nantuku does really cool things, but also just like is a few 1-1s sometimes. I've got it behind Bill and the Chariot and the Cub. Almost want to take Bill here, even though I'm not super huge on green-white. Container Priest is good with Palace Jailer. Let's grab this fetch here. They don't even have draft boosters anymore. It has been a while for you. I mean, draft boosters still feel new to me. Draft boosters feel like some weird shit when they introduced them. Hell yeah, Misfortune. Love that War Titan. You don't like Magic anymore. Have you tried talking with Magic, sharing your feelings? It sounds like you and Magic should have a nice sit down. Sounds like a personal discussion. Communication issues. Have you considered therapy, couples therapy? I guess I'm drafting a Findhorn Elves. Green ended up being more open than white was, huh? That pack. We'll now be considering a red splash. In particular, Bombardiers and Goblin Bombardment are the two exciting ones with the Johnny. I don't really see much for the Salvagers to combo with. City Traders can be good with Titania sometimes. Let's grab Lauren. Might be a sideboard card. One cool thing about Lauren in this deck of cards is that Caracas can rebuy. Like, you can just rebuy it every turn if it comes into play trigger. Pretty good in some matchups. All right. So Oddity is good. Safekeeper is good. Safekeeper and Titania are good together. I'm still gonna take Fable. Fable's like a premium pick. I have this Wooded Foothills that can get a mountain. I've got this a Johnny that wants a red card in play. Good chance we wheel something out of this pack anyway. Noble's looking tempting. Marsh Flat's looking tempting. Let's take Noble. Let's take the premium one drop. Premium for green, to be clear. Don't really want to splash for Plunder. Unless it straight mercs the opponent. Maybe it'll be a sideboard card. Innocence is okay. I don't know if I love it here. I don't like any of this. Garbage. Bunch of garbage. Black's been so open. You're worried about the new rules and interactions for getting back into Magic? I wouldn't worry about that too much. I mean, yeah, but it's not going to be like nearly as hard as learning the game, right? Just learning a few new mechanics and such. I'm going to grab the Triome. Then gets it. The Foothills gets it. Hate that it comes into play tapped, but what can you do, Fast bonding Courser is a thing, but I'm usually when I'm fast bonding, I want like at least 3 things that combine with it. I don't think this deck's going to get there. You could get like a Wheel of Fortune that gets you up to 2. Probably just not playing the Corsair. Thinking about the Gear Hulk. I haven't loved it. I haven't really seen it do much. Think about March 2. Just in case. Billin and Tuku are not combos with Fast Bond. In an average draw, you're going to have, what, 3 lands? 4 lands? So those are landfall triggers that you would get anyway with Bristly Bill and Springheart and Nantuku. You're just getting them like a turn sooner sometimes. Maybe not even. It's not a combo. It is a combo with other things that give you more land drops, like this Courser. The one card that I mentioned, that's an actual combo with Fast Bond. Yeah, if we were better set up for the Zurinor Infinite, then the Fast Bond would have a chance. Just gonna grab the Stomping Ground, I think. Save me from having to run a basic mountain. Was hoping for some power. Looks like it's not in the cards. That Reanimated deck was completely unpowered, right? Have I played much Abhorrent Oculus? No, I've played some Abhorrent Oculus. I played it with it a lot more in Constructed. The issue with it in Cube is you just can't get it down turn 3 consistently. And then it gets outscaled. I think I'm grabbing that Pilgrim. Questing Beast, the other card with merit. One of my main issues with the One Ring in a deck like this is like making sure you can actually kill the opponent in time. We're not very speedy. We don't have a bunch of haste stuff. We don't have a combo kill. I think it's still the grab, but it's not nearly as exciting as it is in other archetypes. Next would probably be Birds or the fetch, maybe. Might wheel a dork here. Could have channeled into Emerald. What was I thinking? I'm gonna grab this Lush Portigo and then just throw this Indotha Triome in the trash where it belongs. You draft a deck you know won't perform. Do you retire it before you even play a game? I've done that like once, I think. Lifetime. The defender gets to choose how damage is applied now. What? No. The attacker chooses how damage is applied. The ordering blockers thing. Ordering blockers was the new thing, actually. Ordering blockers was the change. For the very long time in Magic, the way that it worked is how it works now, where you attack and you get to choose how you want to assign damage to everything. And I think when they removed damage from the stack, they were worried that they were like nerfing combat tricks too hard or something. So they switched it to like ordering blockers, which is like less intuitive and worse. It's just worse. So it was like a bullshit solution for a non-problem, and then they finally went back and changed it again. I guess I grabbed this Taiga. Cub's interesting. Only have the one fetch. Kind of a lot of fixing just for a single Fable. Ooh. It's an appropriate amount of fixing for Natali, though. Thinking about Overlord, thinking about Yavimaya. Yavimaya doesn't help much. Yeah, I'll grab that Overlord. Ephemerate, Blink my Natali. Oh, cool. QB came back. And Halfling. I think we just cut Endurance from the main deck with Mycospawn. Got Channel Emrakul still going around. Let's get a Primetime in here. Yeah, you got a War Titan. We do have a source of colorless for Mycospawn from the Delighted Halfling. Not quite enough to be exciting. You typically want like exciting cards to tutor up. I could see boarding in the Mycospawn if Caracas looks like particularly good against the opponent. Alright, I was going to cut Corsair. And Endurance. What am I copying with Nantuku here? Copy a Johnny, flip it. You like the Ephemerate? It's good with Palace Jailer. And that's kind of it. Palace Jailer, Natali would be sick. A lot of the cards are like just too expensive to be sitting there holding onto an Ephemerate the whole game. If there's a Solitude in here, like I would kind of love the Ephemerate, but we just don't have that. Nantuku is pretty good on Palace Jailer, though. I think I'm going to leave Nantuku in. Was thinking about maybe cutting it, but I think it belongs. I'm going to grab something to warm my feetsies on. Just a sec. Alright. What were we doing? Do I want all these 1-drops? I could see cutting the Inspector. Yeah, let's do that. Q1 to copy with Spring Height. Build your own Tireless Tracker. No puncher's chance. Just because I draft something doesn't mean you need to like reassess or whatever. I'm not in love with this deck. I don't think it's like busted or anything like that. I don't think green white's all that good. I was trying to avoid black was the main color that was open, but I had just done a very intense black deck that was grizzle branding things, and I wasn't in the mood, so I switched it up. Every single time I do a draft, I'm trying to do something different than I did last time. So just because you see me draft a deck doesn't mean it's like some, like, oh, this is the best fucking thing in the world. Everyone should be doing this. That's not how you should interpret my stream. Every single draft is a new puzzle. Every single draft is new ideas. A lot of experimentation. A lot of trying stuff out. And that's always been the case. So I'm just like baffled how you got there. 12 green. And that's plenty of red. Only 2 red cards. 8 white. 8 white's good too. Yeah, a lot of the dorks make white. I said 12 green though. Maybe I don't need 12 green. Yeah, let's play one more. Titania does only count lands leaving the battlefield, so it's not amazing here. Usually I'd like to have a couple of fetches or a strip mine or something with Titania. Right now we only have the one fetch. We do have Sylvan Safekeeper, though, which combines well with it. And then, of course, now that we have a ramp deck, we will win and lose some games to drawing all our top end or drawing all our ramp and such. This hand's not good, but it's like not quite bad enough to mulm. I don't think our average 6 is particularly impressive. I kind of wish I'd let Uncarried. Sure. Very good chance I should be spellbinding. It'd be nice to be able to untap with a knight and go like Carried plus spellbinding. Well, such wishful dreams, such high hopes. Getting to 1900 rating is so incredibly hard. It depends, J.K. Smith. Depends on how you're doing it. So, just grinding cube, I typically fluctuate between like low 1800s and early 1900s. And usually I'm in the high 1800s right now. Right now I'm kind of low. I think I'm like in the low 1800s because it has not been my most winning season, to put it mildly. Although the trophy rate's picked up a little bit. The last like however many streams, we've gotten a couple a day. What was I saying? Oh, but if you spike a higher MMR event, so like just grinding these like random leagues, you have like the lowest rating change, and you're like doing very short snippets at a time. If you play in like PTQs and stuff, then you get like a much larger rating change. So if you were to like top 8 a random 9-round limited event or something like that, sure, it's not easy, but all of a sudden, if you start with a reasonable rating from the first place, all of a sudden you'll just be like really high up there. What of these do I want to make cost 2 more mana? It's either the Satya or the Dracosaur. I think I gotta take the Satya, buy myself a little bit more time before they get a big thing down. Takes so many matches only doing cube. Does take a lot of matches, yeah. You missed the rating system in paper. You remember hitting 1700 and you were so pumped? Yeah. The ELO project still tracks it. I think I'm still the highest rated sealed player. It's my largest claim to fame. Because there's no rating decay these days. I remember getting like really excited when I got like my first buy off of rating and stuff back in the day. Hey, MTG Radio, thanks for 47 months. Appreciate it. Do. I wonder if they changed something. I don't see my name there anymore. But the top percentage is also lower than my sealed win rate. Easy come, easy go. Yeah, Tom Ross used to be right behind me, and I don't see his name here anymore either. My average elo went up though. Yeah, I think they're I think they added a different kind of event or something. Hello. This seems like a good Atali. And they just tap their mother runes, so we just nuke their whole board. I wonder if Atali Splash is just going to win us all of our games. I don't know how else we're winning, so. Did we see Lauren targets? I don't remember. There's Mother of Runes, a cat. Oh, they're just like giant creatures, right? I'm gonna cut Lauren for Thraben, I guess. Time to submit for Gen Con if you're going. I think the time to submit for Gen Con is like December. Get that premium hotel slot. I think we copped her here over a Johnny. Oh, for the events. Gotcha. Oh, shit, what up? Hey, Jazz1. Thanks for 16 months there. Stupid ads go away. You missed the end of game 1. I'm sorry. Yeah, I try to keep an eye on the timer and snooze it if it's going to interrupt gameplay. It's hard, though. It's hard when you're like focusing on a game and such. I do my best. That's what Prime is for? Hell yeah. Yeah, more frequent bathroom breaks help with that. Because then I always just run the ads while I'm gone anyway. The ideal solution. That's an annoying hand. The more damage we get in, the more obnoxious we make that Ancient Tomb. At that beginning of combat step set for Emperor Bones out of the last deck. You got wrecked on the hotel portal this year. Good luck getting your advanced BTM. I've always been like oddly gifted, oddly lucky getting a good hotel slot. A fan let me crash in their hotel room one year. Yeah, that happened to one of my buds, BTM. Getting some nice loot action here. Oh, brutal, great skyfish. Yeah, if someone like really wants you to like travel to their place to visit, but then they won't put you up, it's like, well, what's the invite here? I agree, that's super weird. I think they needed to Fury this turn. Kind of like Safekeeper with Nether Reliquary. It's kind of funny. Gotta been something though. I like my opponent's username. Incredible stuff. I can't believe this deck's in the finals, huh? It does kind of just look like green-white mediums. Sounds about white. Isn't this round 2? Is it? Yeah, okay. I misread a chat comment and confoozled myself. Winning the first round, much more believable. Hmm. 5 mana available. Could get this Overlord impending. I think I like this play in Fable and the Johnny. What if we go Fable Delighted Halfling though? Could be very close to this hard casting Overlord, which I kind of dig. Kind of dig that. Too bad there's no Guy's Cradle in this deck, huh? Ramp deck doing ramp things. I do miss my Johnny. That would have been a cute one to keep bouncing with Caracas. Boros feels super efficient with the best threats and removal. Yeah. Best threats, best removal, one of the best gold cards. Very awkward looking Dark Depths. Send some chonkers in there. A flip to Johnny is no longer a creature, right? So what you would do is you wouldn't flip it. You would just bounce it every turn with the Caracas. We don't really have a way to guarantee a flip anyway. You got 3 trophies in a row yesterday? Oh, I wouldn't brag about that, Roro. I heard from a very reliable source that that's illegal. They're going to report you to the trophy police. Maybe I'm supposed to exile my own Overlord, get an enchantment under there. Well, as promised, Micah Spawn and Crop Rotation coming in. Lauren coming out. Maybe I'll got a land on the draw. Nolan for Gearhulk, the fucking super hard to cast 4/4 that like gets you a 1-drop or 2. No. No, I'm not interested by that one. If you got some like really good 1-drops, maybe it's exciting. Go grab yourself a Black Lotus, treat yourself. Or if you have like some 1-mana removal spells you can grab. This is not a very good card. In the context of the cube, I don't think. Not really impressed with it when it lands. Oh shit, huh? Interesting. I'm gonna take the Hex Mage, I guess. I kinda wanna take that Emperor Bones. The Blightsteel's interesting. Kind of implies they've got Channel or Through the Breach or something in there. Some bog pillaging, sure. As good as Bill is, we're like a man away from this Atali, huh? Alright, well, that is pretty bad for me. Because they still have that Emperor Bones in hand. So that's going to get the Atali, and then they'll get an Atali activation. Well, I would have hit my 7th land. Okie doke, well, get in, I guess. Sandbagging this land for loots and landfalls and such. These draws have been absolute fire. Just lining up super well. Yeah, they can activate the Emperor Bones and Thespian Stage this turn. So we're hoping for a poor Atali hit. Looks like it's getting a Palace Jailer. Maybe not the worst. And a Black Lotus from themselves, yeah. Sure. Yeah, I was looking forward to the Spell Bomb buying me a turn against Dark Depths. Jumping for a turn. Yeah, we have a lot of ways of tutoring for Caracas to answer Depths combo, but we didn't find any of them, so GG. Like we boarded in the crop rotation and the Micah spawn. Still got to draw him, of course. I guess Endurance comes in. Compliment the Curator. Just thinking if any of this is worse than 6. I don't think so. 6 is solid, but you reserve the right to be salty and unpleasant when the opponent does cool things. You can do that. It is the Magic player way. We can complain about anything. It's our superpower. Titania would be a sick rip. Well, they've got turn 2 Depths again. At least no Hex Mage to go with it. Well, that's fucking interesting. We got Stage for the turn 3 2020. Not in response punchers. So I just double checked Dark Depths for the wording. It says when it has no ice counters on it, sacrifice it. If you do, so when it has no ice counters and the trigger goes on the stack, that is when you want to besiege you. We could besiege you this Necromancy and like fix their colors and not take 4 from Questing Beast, but I'm gonna give it a turn or 2. That's not bad. My Caracas would be great here. I can get my Questing Beast back. We have 3 ways of tutoring for Caracas, so It's sort of like having 4 in a 30-card deck. Kind of an odd little Imperial Seal. Like the Imperial Seal for him to track. Last turn they Imperial Seal, right? Like, what are they Imperial Sealing for? And that was like their whole turn was Imperial Sealing. So they didn't have the him to track last turn. You know what I mean? Oh, maybe the Besiege's known from the Thoughtseize earlier. I might have been chilling on it all game. That makes a lot more sense. I can't remember when I drew it. I don't think they would go through all this work if they didn't have stage in hand. And Krakus like also answers the questing beast. Besiege was turn 2 turns after the Thoughtseize. Gotcha. Maybe they know that I've got like 7 drops in my deck that I'm trying to ramp into, so maybe they assume that I'm just like holding on to a 7 drop after all the looting and stuff. Seal's a sorcery tutor though. I don't know. It still seems very odd then. Kept Greaves in hand, sure. Annoying. They both have Death Touch. So we have this Reflection, right? Which could just copy the Smuggler's Copter and then just chump both of them. Or not chump, but like trade with the 3/3 and chump the questing. And then the Endurance would be able to eat the Revenant out of the graveyard. The other line is to copy either Endurance or the Copter and double block the Questing Beast as well and get them both off the board. Just a little bit worried about that Revenant coming back at some point, flying Death Touch stuff. But then I'm just jumping the Questing Beast this turn, which I don't really like. Maybe it's fine. Safekeeper making me feel a little safe in terms of being able to protect cards from removal and such. Well, that's scary. It's a lot of selection is all. So I got 8 cards. How many cards did Endurance bin? Just thinking about that Carsey Revenant. Well, I think it shuffled in about 8. So it's probably like another 10 cards deep before they find it. Oh, I guess we have Endurance that could block it anyway. And the Generosent. A couple big reachers. Just Safekeeper checking. Yeah, the Greaves is protecting the Questing Beast now, so Crocus isn't going to get back for me. I'll probably just get Crocus anyway. Yeah, if you gave Questing Beast Pro Black, the Necromancy would fall off, but Shroud doesn't. Yeah, that is stupid to me getting the Crocus, because that'll still prevent them from making 2020s and stuff later. So all my stuff's protected. I can just, like, launch in and Generous Sense every turn and gain life and stuff. Very cool. I like Atali, but I don't know if anyone likes Atali this much. I guess we keep it on the draw, I'm actually gonna bin the Besiege You. Keep more things to the sack to Nether Reliquary. Hey, sup, Cardi? You just finished a plasterboard ceiling. Oh, nice. Yeah, I've never put in a ceiling. I have not played Expedition 33. I've had it tossed around as a game that I might jam at stream on some point, because that's like it'll probably take me like several years to get to it if I don't stream it. Are the lines voiced? If I like JRPGs, I'll like it. I've only tried one JRPG, and I was pretty medium on it. There was just like a lot, though. There was too much. Too many things I didn't care about. Game is incredible. Yeah, I've heard nothing but good things. But a game can be very good and still be a poor choice for me to stream, as I've found on a couple of occasions. Fully voiced and very good voice acting. Nice. Yeah, that's a big pro. That's a big pro for me specifically. Reading all the voice lines in like a very text-heavy game is exhausting. And it like draws my attention away from chat. Like I'm not seeing people's comments and stuff. I'm spending a lot of the time reading. Oh, I love that Morosith. Went to the farmer's market. Now you're working on NPCs for D&D. That's a great Sunday. Yeah, one of the reasons I'm doing a super early stream today is because I got D&D in the late afternoon. Looking forward to it. Haven't played in a few weeks. Depends on the audience. I've heard that too, that it depends on the audience a lot. So I think my audience would be great. Like I don't like I've heard of larger streamers having issues with spoilers and such, and that's just like I've never had that issue with my viewership, especially when I'm switching over to variety games. I'm only getting like 200-ish of people that are like literally just there for me, you know. One streamer you sub to stopped because of the poor numbers. Oh, just wasn't getting very many viewers. Interesting. Yeah, my numbers for Baldur's Gate 3 weren't that good, and a lot of they weren't bad. They certainly weren't bad. But I think a lot of it was that people were worried about getting spoiled. Like, I received that comment a lot. Any Caleb DMTG stream's a great stream. Hi, thanks, Mr. Gaines. You think it's hard to get into if you miss parts of it? Ah, gotcha. That's a relevant knock for sure. I guess the 6 attacks for free, huh? Maybe we should have done that pre-night. Well, at least 6 is doing stuff. At least we're getting value over here. Right, exactly, Mean Bean. Yeah, I think that'd be a big factor for some people. That's alright. I don't need to play like literally every game. People are really stoked on blueprints right now, too. And I gave that a shot and was like, nope, not for me. Plenty of other streamers want to stream that game and are better at it than I would be. Have I streamed a one-shot D&D session? I have. I have done one. I got Gabby, Pleasant Kenobi, and I think Torin was our 4th. Might be screwing up his name. I haven't interacted with him too much. Besides that one one shot we did. And I had my buddy Rob DM it. And I unfortunately got sick during the one shot. And I was open to like doing it into a larger campaign, but it didn't seem like the vibes were quite there. Nothing wrong with the vibes, but if you're gonna do a long form D&D session, you kind of need people to be having a good time, right? A necessary part of it. Has to be good group chemistry. Thorin sounds more correct. He had worked with Pleasant Kenobi before. Why not block with a token, flip the Ajani? So this card has Menace. This 3/4. So if I have only a Ajani and a cat, then I have to double block. And then they just kill the Ajani, huh? If I have the Crocus up, I could do that block and then bounce the Ajani 4 damage, but that's also not flipping the Ajani. Yeah, you're fine, Killy William. It's not like a super common card outside of Cube, I think. Revealing Eye. That's what makes it a good question. I like it when questions like are large enough to say like what they're missing too, right? Like yours was just like, oh, you were just missing the Menace. A lot of times you'll get a question and I have to ask like a bunch of like clarifying questions to actually understand what they're missing. Which isn't the end of the world. Nope, that would be thermonuclear annihilation. Ooh, hello. This is a counter tap with Cryptic Command. That'd be pretty brutal. No, it's an Urtai. Okay. Hey, sup, Hodge? Hope you're having a pleasant Sunday. Good group of folks. Oh, for D&D? Yeah, I thought so. I would certainly not mind like organizing something like that in the future. It is like less fun to play D&D over the internet. My only real hesitation. Much easier to set up, though. And then people don't all have to travel to the same room. My brain's, like, worrying, thinking about, like, how much money it would take to, like, do a nice setup at Ben's place. Because Ben's place is, like, very well set up. My main DM is, like, has a place that's very well set up for D&D. He's got, like, a pull-out on his like poker/gaming table that comes up, and then there's like a huge monitor just like inlaid into the table, so you can bring up random like maps and stuff instead of using a whiteboard. And then so then your characters, which he also 3D prints and hand paints. Kind of a ridiculous setup. So then your characters are like walking around in this like perfectly rendered map area. I should stream that. Right, that's what I'm thinking, is that like to stream that I would need a lot, right? I would need a top-down camera, and then I would need like 3 or 4 side position cameras to get reactions and stuff. Have all our little faces. It'd be a lot. It'd be a lot of work. The most I've ever done is 3 cameras. And that was a huge pain. But at least I wouldn't be like editing the footage. One wide angle of the table would be fine. Yeah, but then, so like for the wide angle of the table to actually show expressions and stuff, it has to be a big camera. Like a big, like, it takes up all the space. You really want like the main area to be the board, so you can actually like zoom in and see the characters and such on their positions. Which means you want smaller, not a huge wide angle of the space, because that would be just like a bunch of little stick figures. Like nobody would be able to see any detail or anything. And actually doing like smaller close-ups on people's faces for reaction shots gets you like a watchable video. I don't think it'd be worth doing otherwise. A lot of work, though. Need a producer to manage the stream with that much stuff? I don't know about that. Like, once people know where to sit and the cameras are positioned and all that stuff, then it becomes like autoplay. It's just like the expense of doing it. Hey, tomorrow now, thanks for the $5. You got a song request? Let's jam it. This is your homies band from Denver. Very cool. This is a Jewel House Suite, live from a basement. And it has 704 views. This looks like high production value for only 700 views. Live from a basement? Yeah, it'd be cool to bestow onto the Atali here. I mean, we can bounce the Atali. Get more activations. I guess the cat should have served. Maybe next turn. You don't know how much downtime I have if you're planning to manage the cameras? Well, cameras are stationary. They don't need, like, active management. It would be different if you expect to do, like, active zooms and stuff. But that's also something that you'd be more likely to do if you were doing, like, edited content instead of live streamed. Is it better to just try and flip a Tolly or replay it? What's the most missed card in the cube for blue? Emery. Oh, I shouldn't have let this resolve. I should have bounced my Atali in response. Well, if they make Atali, at least I can kill it with my Caracas. They get a Deep Cavern Bat and a Delighted Halfling. Sure. Yeah, this cube has 2 different baubles and no Emery and like Aether Spellbomb and stuff. It's like almost perplexing to me. Nah, this game's not gonna come down to decking. You got the Caleb D MTG guarantee. Sure. Very cool. Try that in the old stream playlist. Yeah, excellent track, huh? Y'all should, if you enjoyed that tune, just click the link. Go give them a view. Go give them a thumbs up. Maybe make a comment. You could be like, Caleb sent me here or something if you want. But like, that video should have way more than 700 views, right? Way more. Let's go boost their algorithm. That's something that we as a community can do right now. And it's free. Let's take a second. All right. I'm going to board in Endurance here. We saw a bunch of piddly little flyers out of them. Oh, I said all that while Nad was playing. I made a call for folks to click on the link. Click on the link. Go give the video another view. Give it a thumbs up. Maybe make a comment in the YouTube section if you're feeling especially spicy. All that stuff will help that video's algorithm. Currently, they only have 700 views, and I think that's a crime. Let's see. We didn't really see much for Lauren, huh? Maybe the flipped cat. Lauren could blow up. Didn't really see reanimation stuff for the vacuum. I'm just going to leave the rest of this as is. What's up, daytime people? Just getting some cube on. Get some cube on. Gonna play some D&D later. Should be a good day. Are we up a game in the finals? Is that what this is? Yeah, the only downside of the hand was that I'd have to play the Portico on turn 1 for green, but you can also just rip the green. It is allowed. That is a very obnoxious frog. You like Craterhoof in this deck? Really? I kind of don't. Like, we haven't had issues in the late game. Do I discard all my cards in response to a Spellbinder? No. Yeah, right, Bill? This track always gets my blood pumping. Bring on that thunder. Opponent in the old Tankaroo. I think what we want to do is hit an untapped source and just launch a questing beast at their face. And then they fly out over us with the frog, but at least we're racing, right? At least we're getting damage in. And if all we're doing is playing Neither Reliquary, then that's probably a little slow. So we're not going to have a Tolly mana next turn. But we'll be pretty close. Real ones bounce a Tolly with Crocus. We literally won last game doing that. until we could comfortably flip a Tali and attack. Hey, Dansman 9, except 53 months. You're loving the 365 so far? I'd love to hear it. Heck yeah. Yeah, it seemed like it would be a good thing. Can we expect more EU-friendly streams? So the time that you're going to get more EU-friendly streams are nights that I've got a thing. Commitments that I made before I started doing a 365. I'm not just going to like drop all those, right? That's why yesterday and today I ended up doing early streams. So there's a few more like shows and such that I'm doing. There's Mad with Power next month, for example, where there's gonna be several days in a row that I do early streams. Should I do like a full year calendar? Would that be a useful thing? Would anybody look at that? I could map out like all of my known early streams and dates and stuff. Nope. Yeah. EU people see me on YouTube? Yeah. You're definitely someone who will subscribe to a calendar like that. Are there firefighters on the calendar? No. What prompted me to do another 365? Someone asked what it would take as a sub goal. And then I gave a number and it was hit almost immediately. Hot firefighters. Chat's getting real demanding. Hey, Neil Stars 19, thanks to the sub, thanks to the 70 months there. The entire calendar is just me and Sir Barrington in scantily clad firefighter outfits. Yeah, the Kaido has hexproof, so I can't Crocus bounce it. Sure. These were some good Atali hits. Whew. That's a turn, huh? That's a turn. This again. Last time their Atali was not very good. They just got like a couple mana, couple dorks, like a 1-drop from both of us. I went and killed it with Caracas. This time they got a Smuggler's Copter and a Carnage Interpreter. Well, that's not bad. I don't think it's as good as ours, but you want to keep recasting Atali? Yeah, that'd be fun. Unfortunately, I think I gotta kill theirs and Palace Jailer their frog and stuff like that. Caracas has certainly been MVP, which is nice because it was my pack one pick one. A little bit worried about dying to their frog and the Copter, but I could have so many Atali triggers. They got flyers in their deck, right? We'll do this one. Maybe I'll keep the copy on the last one. I'll give me a lot of blockers. I'm into that. Hey, big reacher. We can Ghost Vacuum our Atali, crack it, play the Atali as a 1-1, and then Crocus it back to hand again, go back to replaying. Because the Ghost Vacuum plays the card, it just makes it a 1-1. Oh, nice. The Copter's not getting in. Can I flip this thing? I think you can, right? You can flip tokens now. There might be a way to win with flipping Atali this turn, but I'm just going to get in. Okay, yeah, good enough. Good enough for them. Cool, very cool. I think we got like a little lucky on matchups there. We never faced like the super fast aggro deck. The closest was like our Jeskai opponent that had Fury and stuff in the first round, but they never had like a 1-drop, 2-drop start against me. Sometimes the matchups just line up. Sometimes they just line up all right. Awesome deck, GG's. Yeah, it worked out, I've had that work before. Just like green-white mids with like a Atali or something on the top end. Back in the day, before Atali was in the cube, that card was Elishnorn for a little bit. Not the 5-mana one, not the newfangled Elishnorn, but like the 7 one that gives the opponent's creatures -2/-2 and yours +2/+2. It was sort of like White's Craterhoof if you played it in a creature deck, and then you just like won the creature mirrors playing that card. Similar vibe, just like ramping up to that and be like, yep, I win. All right, I need to go to the bathroom again.